This is gonna be the best. A little something like this. Oh, so cozy. Do you know, this is the first project I've done in so long where I have not had to unstitch anything. I have not pulled out my seam ripper once. So that is like... Welcome back. The weather is now motivating me to actually make some more cozy items. I've got about 4 meters of this teddy fleece, this beautiful gingham, brown gingham fleece here that I'm going to be making a pair of matching jumpers for me and my mother-in-law. She's currently visiting, so I want to get this done as quick as possible so she can take it back home with her. She lives also in a very cold place, so hopefully she can get a bit of wear out of it this winter. I bought this fabric from Spotlight, so it was about $28 a meter, but I think it'll be worth it when you get the jumper made out of it. I'm using the New Look 6588 pattern. It's a unisex pattern, so I've trying to keep the largest size possible so I can make one for my husband. Maybe if he likes the style, he might want one and I can make him a matching one. We can have the whole family can have matching jumpers. So I'll make mine first, so any mistakes will be ironed out by the time I'm making my mother-in-law's. But I'm really excited for this one. It's gonna be cozy. It's got some front pockets. I think she wants a drawstring. I might leave mine with some elastic. We went to the shops together and we both decided that this really chunky zip could be quite fun down the center of this with this kind of color material. So that is the plan. We're just going to have a high neck so you can kind of have like a funnel neck. I think it's going to be a very good addition to my wardrobe. I love this style of jumper. I think it looks really great. Be cozy at home or put it with some jeans if you want to go out, and you're always going to feel just so rugged up and warm. So I want to share all this with you. So grab your cup of tea, get cozy with me, and let's get into it. Pattern is very long in the length. It is about 30 inches from the back of the neck to the bottom of the top, which is pretty much like a dress. So what I've done is I've gone to one of my current jumpers and measured from the back of the neck down to where the bottom of the top of the jumper is, minus the waistband, and that's about 21 inches. And then I've added an extra 5 inches just for the hemming of the bottom of the jumper. So I've done the same here on the back. I took off 5 inches off this pattern. So I'm just going to fold this up again 5 inches so I've got it hitting at the same point. Front motorbike. It's our neighbour. I'll just do a voiceover. My neighbour is a mechanic and he's fixing up his motorbike, so I don't know how often he's going to turn his motorbike on. But anyway, essentially what I was saying is I've just measured out from current jumpers that I have for the length of the pattern, and then I folded the pattern up here. I have done that for the front and the back to make it equal, and now I'm going to be cutting out my front piece pattern. Once I got my pattern pieces cut out, I moved straight on to making the collar. First step was to apply the interfacing to the shell of the collar, and now I'm attaching the zipper by lying it face down onto the right side of the fabric and making sure it's nicely placed along the edge. Because it is a chunky zipper, I do actually want to have the tape of the zipper exposed, which means I don't have to do really close stitching, which is a relief. Once I've sewn down, we move to attaching the second side of the zip to the other side of the collar. So I've zipped up the zip to keep it even, and I just laid them and sandwiched it down. It was pretty simple and came out quite effectively. Now that the zipper is attached to the shell, I'm attaching the lining to the collar, which will then sandwich the zipper tape in between and be hidden. Sewing around the zipper, around the top of the neck, and then down the other side, leaving the bottom edge open to flip it out. my right sides are sewn together, sandwiching my zip at the front. Now I'm just going to turn it right side out, and we will see my collar come out here. I can zip this up, and that is the collar. How cute! Oh my goodness, it's on the diagonal. Awesome. So up here to reinforce the zipper edge, and then I will just do a basting stitch along here to keep this layers down. And then what's going to happen is this will then be inserted into my jumper, so these two edges will then be sandwiched even further. So I can just do a basting stitch here, and then I'll edge stitch along the top. Just quickly, the collar is now done, so it's going to look a little something like this. Oh, so cozy, so cozy, amazing. So that's come together really nicely. That is the collar. So now I'm just going to attach the bodice pieces and the sleeves in, and then I'll come back to you when that's done. The material I'm using is quite stretchy on the bias, so when I was sewing them together, there is a thought that the weight of the sleeves and everything might actually pull the shoulders and stretch them. This little hack is not included in the instructions, but I've just gone ahead and kind of made it up as I went with what I had on hand, and I think it's actually come out quite cute. It's just a little bit of like bias binding, but with some ribbon instead, so I don't have to actually fold all the edges over. Is there anything that I can improve upon it, or is that pretty neat? And I think it's come out quite well, so let me know what you think in the comments. Have you ever done a trick like that or something similar? Essentially, you fold down the edges, sit the collar on the back, and then sew down, catching those folded down parts on the bodice. This was a little tricky, so slow and steady wins the race, but we got there and it came out really neat, and I'm so happy with the final seam finish for the front of the jumpers. Alright, this is looking so good. The bodice and the neck collar are finally attached. That was a little bit fiddly, but it actually has come together pretty well. Just slow and steady gets the job done. Now it's going to be sleeves, cuffs and waistband. It is another day. I ran out of time the first day to get the jumper completely finished. So next day I was punching through so I could get this jumper done for my mother-in-law before she left the next morning. Right now I am working at putting the pockets onto the front piece and the back piece of the bodice and lining them up with the bottom, so then when I fold it up for the hem would actually hold the pocket down. Additionally, I also attached the sleeves so I could sew them all in at one time. here I have got pocket sewn on. The back pocket I need to attach, still get that sewed on. The sleeve on this one has just been sewn in, so I am up to this side here for the pocket. I've got the, where is she? The arms have now been sewn up in the underarm seam, and I have the pockets pinned to the front bodice on the inside here, and I will just run a stitch here. So I've pinned them and I'm just going to run a stitch around this, so then they will stay up here when we put like weight, and then they won't slide down. So you just see it running a stitch here, run a stitch around here, and then I will fold this up and hem and put my elastic in the bottom, and then fold and hem my sleeves.
If you want some free advice, don't use your teeth to hold elastic, just pin it, because it will fall out of your mouth and you will have to rethread your elastic because it will pull through. That disappointment aside, I managed to recollect myself and finish off my cuffs.
I did it. We have now hemmed the cuff. I have fed the elastic through the bottom hem. The pockets are sewn together. Yay! So I have officially finished one of the jumpers, and I'm now starting the second one. I've got the sleeves to go and the pockets, then I can kind of do all that, but I've got the neck funnel neck in. So I'm halfway up done on this one here, and I have finished the first one. So this one is actually turned out really good, so I think I'm going to give it to my mother-in-law. She is leaving tomorrow, so this is good timing. I'll see if I can get a photo of her, but we'll see how the lighting goes, because it is evening here. The days are short, the nights are early, but this one is finished. So I've just put some elastic in the bottom here, the pockets on both sides, and I have also just done some stitching around the top of the pocket to hold it up, so when you put things in there it doesn't fall out. I mean, like, you know, drop down. But all in all, the sleeves are open, just hemmed, and that is looking like that. It is so cozy. It's come together really well. This is a really fun pattern. So it's the 6588 new look, and it's really fun to make. I highly recommend it if you've got a jumper that you want to make in that zip. I haven't done obviously the hood, but I can definitely recommend this view. Is really fun. I'll also see if my mother-in-law wants me to put some elastic in the sleeves, but she might want it just loose, so it's a bit more relaxed. This is so cute, and I'm so loving it. So what I did on the inside is, I think I mentioned it earlier, it's hard to know because my son has been napping just on the other side of my door, so I can't speak too loudly. So I've been trying to like film and sew without being too noisy, which, you know, whatever. Anyway, what I did is I have done this ribbon binding on the shoulders to help give it some structure so it doesn't pull down here. So that was really good. I'm really happy with that. That looks really effective. And then I sewed this all with a straight stitch and then went back through and overlocked it just to give it a bit more strength and tidy it up. I'm thinking with my one, I'm just going to straight overlock it. I don't think I need to do the straight stitch. And because this is a fleece that doesn't, what's the word? Fray? doesn't fray. Yeah, because this is a fleece that doesn't fray, then the overlocker is enough and I can just do it like that and it holds it all quite nicely. So this has been incredible. The second one probably only took me 2 hours to make, and the first one was like 4 because I was just trying to figure out how the zip at the top worked. Do you know, this is the first project I've done in so long where I have not had to unstitch anything. I have not pulled out my seam ripper once. So that is like, what a win. What a win. Anyway, so this is the one jumper. I'm gonna finish the second jumper, see if I can get that done, and I'll give you some shots of us in our matching jumpers. Oh, so cozy. I'm so excited.